White fathers are terrified that if their daughters date black boys, she will publicize it. She'll post pictures, videos, and anything else she can think of to tell the world about her boyfriend on social media, guys. To be fair, she'd be doing this regardless of her boyfriend's race, but it's the black boys that her father wants her to keep quiet about. Let's not get it mixed up. In the mind of a white father, this reflects poorly on him. Like everyone else, I had a high school love of my life. She was very pretty, extremely smart. But there was one thing about her that my mother didn't like, and she never failed to mention it whenever she could. She was a white girl. My crush had long blonde hair, big, pretty green eyes, and as you can imagine, her father wasn't too keen on our relationship either, and he was always in her ear about it as much as my mom nagged me about her. Now that I am a little more than 20 years removed from that relationship, which by the way lasted into my college years, and I look back on it, I noticed something her mother and my father didn't really have much to say about it. Maybe they approved, maybe they didn't, but they were noticeably silent during the whole thing. Now, let's not kid ourselves here, gentlemen. There are many interracial relationships in the world, but the ones that are the most polarizing are the ones between black males and white females. Let's just call it what it is. But the thing is, most people who seem to have a problem with it are black women, just as white men and black women are, as are her father and mother. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that the battle lines in high school, okay, high school-aged interracial relationships, are drawn in much the same way. When their daughters date their black sons, when their white daughters date their black sons, white fathers and black mothers are almost always the most vehement dissenters. So the question is, why is this the case? Why do black mothers, white mothers, and black fathers remain relatively silent, while their spouses make a stink about it? Tonight, I'll break it down from each parent's perspective and tell you what neither parent is willing to say or admit out loud. Okay, so we're gonna start off with white fathers. Now, when my girl and I first started talking, she told me that if I were to meet her parents, that they would love me and they would have no problem with our relationship. Okay. She said that they'd give us their blessing and would be perfectly okay with us, to which I responded. Of course, they're not bothered by the fact that I'm black. You've made it past the barrier. The funny thing is, she laughed and said, "Cut. You're too harsh." But she knew I was right, because she then told me that if we were dating in high school, it would be a very different story with her father, regardless of race. Gentlemen, women of all races are the most sexually viable during their fertile years. I would say between 18 and 26 years old, give or take. Now, she and her father both know that she's not nearly as valuable as she was 10, 15 years ago, so he is not as protective of her as she once was. She is 34, she'll be 35 next. Guess what? Back when she was 20, she was a lot hotter. I've seen pictures. When she was 25, she was hot. Okay. Now, of course, she's a grown woman. She doesn't live at home anymore, which are both factors in terms of why her father doesn't feel the need to protect her anymore. But the fact remains that because she's not in her prime, her father is much less invasive with regards to her relationship with me. However, there are three main reasons why white fathers are strongly opposed to their daughters dating black boys when they are pretty young white girls in their sexual primes. No, it does not. Some of it could be due to the fact that they are racist, but that seems to be the obvious explanation. But I'll highlight three. There are three reasons why white fathers are concerned about their young teenage daughters dating. Boys of color, thank you very much. Could you also bring me a bottle of water? Sure. Oh my God, I have a splitting headache, and she just came to my rescue with a 200-count bottle of Advil, so woo. Thank you, God. First and foremost, gentlemen, reputation. White fathers are terrified that their daughters will date or begin to date black boys. She'll blast it all over the place, dude. White fathers are terrified that if their daughters date black boys, she will broadcast it all over social media. She'll post pictures, videos, and anything else she can think of to tell the world about her boyfriend on social media, guys. She would have done it regardless of her boyfriend's race, but it's the black boys that her father doesn't want her to talk about. Let's not get it mixed up. In the mind of a white father, this reflects poorly on him. His friends and family will be left wondering where he went. What's the matter with her? Yes, gentlemen, this does occur. The second point is he understands that white boys will avoid him. Let's not beat around the bush, guys. White fathers understand that if their daughter develops a reputation for dating black boys, white boys will avoid her. And if she continues her interracial dating habits, she will most likely never have a meaningful relationship with a strong, masculine white male because, once again, he knows that white. Consider that most white men regard mixing with black men as a deal breaker when it comes to dating, marrying, and even dating white women. Ray has stated that he enjoyed bringing the white girls home. You did too. Boy. Third, if she has a mixed marriage, Dad is aware of her options, child. His options for a long-term relationship in the future are limited to black men or weak white men, neither of which he considers to be good options for his child. I want you guys to keep in mind that just because a white father doesn't want his daughter to date black boys doesn't make him a racist. Now, I could certainly be a strong indicator, but this isn't the way to judge that one way or the other. Are you almost?